Well, hey guys, welcome to a little mini series in my podcast. We're doing a special series for you guys of a peek behind the curtain of my inside scoop training. Some of you guys have participated in it, some of you are in my academy, but a lot of my followers and listeners have never really gotten any really good education on the power of LinkedIn. So we decided, my team and I, that what better way than to actually record my last training on the power of LinkedIn, how to build a brand, how to create that virtual business card, and leverage the number one business to business platform and give it to you, give you the goods in podcast form. So what you'll be seeing and experiencing over the next couple of episodes is a recording of a 5-day series of training I recently did on the power of LinkedIn. So one thing to keep in mind as you listen to these episodes is they are a recorded training from July. So keep that in mind, but grab your pen and paper. Be ready to take some notes. If you love what you're hearing, know that we have an incredible depth of an academy that can hold your hand, bring you into our community, and help you build your business beyond your wildest dreams. So this is just a little peek behind the curtain. I hope you guys find incredible value on this.
Hey gang, Melissa Hinault here with the Burnout to All Out podcast. I'm a mom of 3 corporate burnout that built a secondary 6-figure income around my 9-to-5 with little kids. This set me free and allowed me to fire my boss and pursue my wildest dreams. It took grit, persistence, and belief. But now, operating multiple 6-figure businesses as an online entrepreneur and business coach, I have become a serial entrepreneur with a passion to inspire more burnouts to take the leap and go all out and live out their dreams. Each week, I'll bring you inspiring all-out guests, lifestyle business tips, and tools to empower you to take the leap from burnout employee to all-out entrepreneur, making your passion your paycheck. If this mom of 3 corporate burnout can go all out, so can you.
Welcome to all of you guys who are here. I know we're, again, in the throes in the midst of the summer, me included. My mother-in-law just landed a couple hours ago on the plane and the kids are playing and having a good time. You might hear some music in the back, but we are here to roll our sleeves up and focus on business. We are on day 4, value proposition and your virtual business card. This is where it actually all comes together. Today, we're going to get into your actual profile. All that work you've done up until now is going to inform the groundwork of you showing up on the platform. Okay. We went through your avatar work. We went through your personal brand, what the Snowflake activity was all about. What does it mean? What is it about? How do we apply that on social media, on the LinkedIn platform? And we also talked a little bit about your story and how all 3 of these core components not only inform what we lovingly call your virtual storefront to your business on LinkedIn, but will long-term inform your social media campaign, right? Your social media campaign. So here's the deal. We are going to take that today and we're going to roll up our sleeves and do a deep dive on your actual storefront. So if you're brand new, my name is Melissa Hinault. I am the founder of the LinkedIn Method. I was a previous corporate burnout who dropped out through being a social seller online, but I got burnt out of the tactics that were taught to me on how to leverage social media to grow a brand. I got tired of the spammy tactics and I pivoted to LinkedIn to take a more professional approach that felt good strategically. I coined a method, I coined a process, and in the process learned to fall in love with social selling all over again. And I have a mission to professionalize the industry in the process through coaching others to do the same and fall back in love with their businesses and create a legacy in the process. Through what? The most powerful method on the planet, the LinkedIn method, right? Okay, let's get into the content. Guys, the purpose of your storefront is to create attraction marketing through creating curiosity. Okay. And this training today is super, super, super critical. And if you can get this right, you're going to be able to generate leads for yourself. And you have to remember when you're building out your profile that you are recruiting. You are not an employee. Okay. Maybe you are an employee, but you're leveraging this platform to recruit. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. But the bottom line is we are using attraction marketing to make people want to stop at our page and dig through and learn about what you have to offer that is going to provide a service for them or change their life. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. I want you to get your profiles out on your phone or get them up on an iPad, okay? Because we're going to really dig in. And the first thing I want to start with is your banner. A banner is the very top of your profile page. You have them on Facebook as well. It's that long kind of skinny thing. How many of you, your banner is the original blue that LinkedIn gave you? Here's the thing I want you guys to think about. Your profile, I want you to remember, it's the first stop after the headline. We're going to get the headline in a minute, but it's many times their first stop and experience of you. Okay. So what I want you to ask yourself is, how do I want my audience to feel emotionally, energetically, when they land on my page, which is your virtual storefront? Do you want them to see you as just the same old every other LinkedIn profile with nothing exciting in your banner? Huh? Right? Okay. I want you to think about, how do you want your prospect, prospective business builder, prospective client, how do you want them to feel when they land on your page? How do you want them to feel? I want them to feel high energy. I want them to feel inspired. I want to be unique. I want there to be a little bit of clarity about my mission, my passion, right? I'll tell you guys, when I finally really cracked the code on LinkedIn, one of the number one pieces of feedback I was getting from people that I was bringing in was that you just brought so much light into my feed and positivity. And you looked like you were working for yourself. You seemed to really be authentic and happy and working for yourself, right? Well, if you think about my brand, trying to attract people who want to build a business for themselves, that is the persona I want to put out there, that I'm loving life on my terms, building my business. Now, if you're in the mortgage industry or you are a life coach, insert how you want your client to feel when they land on your page. If you're a network marketer, insert how you want people to see you and feel when they land on your page. Do you think that blue banner is going to get their attention? Do you think that blue banner is going to elicit emotion? Probably not, right? You can go a million different directions on your banner. I've had it in fun, like bold colors. Right now, I have a crisp, clean white banner with a pop of fun pink because I'm fun. I don't want to be corporatized in a black and white masculine suit, like strangulated like I was for 12 years working for someone else, right? And this is just me. This doesn't have to be you. But I want to put out energy of like fun and kind of like sexy professional, right? Because I work for myself. And if I want to wear a pink jumpsuit, I can wear a pink jumpsuit. I'm saying this is me, not necessarily you. You need to think about who you are trying to attract. Some of you have some phenomenal services, and the output of your client, how do you inspire them when they land on your page? How do they know what you're in the business of when they land on your page? If you're in social selling, what is your value proposition? So when you see my banner here, my theme is burnout to all out. So when people land on my page, I want them to see a clean, crisp, clear, personal mission and logo. We'll talk about that in a minute. And something kind of fun about me, right? So this is my banner created in Canva, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. The bottom line is that you want your banner to elicit emotion and you want it to best represent yourself. And Canva is a really awesome tool to go do that. It's important that you have a brand name. And those of you who are in social selling where you're peddling a product for a company, I highly encourage you to not position yourself as working for them. You need your overarching brand. People are going to join you because of you. Same if you're a life coach or you're in the mortgage industry, thinking about our client, potential client we're talking to last night. What kind of tagline can you give yourself that can kind of create a name for your brand? And I'm going to give you an example in just a minute when we get into headlines to kind of share with you how you can play with these kind of brands and titles. But the bottom line is, guys, your banner, believe it or not, is like the first experience when your audience lands there.
Hey there, we're going to take a brief little interruption. I think you guys will love why I'm doing this little interruption. And that is because we hear from you all the time over in the Burnout to All Out community on our Facebook page. You've got questions, you want coaching. And so one of the things we are opening up to our Burnout to All Out community that are listening in right now to this podcast is a chance to get your questions answered in a live hot seat coaching session with me, yours truly, Melissa Hinault, in our Burnout to All Out community. And the audio will be recorded and you will be debuted in our podcast with your questions. So if that piques your curiosity and you're intrigued, here's the deal. All you have to do is text the word question. Again, text the word question to the number 1-833-310-7171. Again, text the word question to 1-833-310-7171. And when you do that, we will come back to you with another message asking you to submit your question. 2 to 3 lucky people will be selected every single week to be featured in my Facebook community and on my podcast. Looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Okay, guys, let's get into the headshot. What is a headshot? Let me get back to sharing my screen. Pull up yours on your phone or wherever. These are your headshots right here. This right here is your headshot. Hopefully you guys can all see this. It also is a place where you can upload a 30-second video, again, that we train on inside the academy to really maximize those 30 seconds for your value proposition. Here's the thing about your headshot. You really want your face to take up a good portion of the headshot bubble so that you are creating brand recognition wherever you go, right? Wherever you go. The further away you are from the photo and the less definitive lines around you, the less branding you're going to have everywhere you go on the platform. So let me give you an example. If you guys look over here to the far right and you look at my chat box, although Abdul's photo, he probably could have gotten a little better photo if he wasn't I feel like I'm seeing a lot of his nose. But what I will tell you is that he's got really nice brand recognition in the sense that his whole face is there, right? Versus Cletus, who's down below, you can see that I don't even know what his face looks like. The picture's too far back. And I'm not really getting a vibe of who he is. Look at Lynn. And maybe if these are you guys, I'm sorry, but her photo was really dark, right? She's not really standing out. When you look at my photo, you can see there's a lot of contrasting colors. This bubble of me, wherever I go, pretty easily stands out. Wouldn't you say that there's some brand recognition that when you see my face, when you see my little bubble, versus that grayed out bubble, there's a huge difference in being able to actually even recognize that there's a person there. Does that make sense? So in general, your face should take up about 60% of that bubble. Okay. About 60% of that bubble. Some things to think about. What do you want to wear in the photo? Depending on what you were trying to put out. I told you guys, I very strategically was wearing a hot pink jumpsuit because I probably wouldn't have worn a hot pink jumpsuit in corporate America. However, my avatar wishes she could strut a hot pink jumpsuit whenever, wherever, because she's doing life on her terms. So you want to think about the energy that you want to elicit. Are you smiling? Especially you men. Some of you men are really good at like smirking without showing your teeth and not giving a good smile. Do you want to come across happy and fulfilled? Maybe a little bit more relaxed, still professional, but maybe not so buttoned up. I don't know, right? Like this comes down to your avatar and who you are trying to attract. Now, if you are an attorney who's watching this and you're trying to attract clients in a particular category where you feel like you need to look super polished, then look super polished. I want an attorney that's got their shit together, right? So like it all depends on who you're trying to attract as to how you need to show up on the platform. So hopefully this is making sense. But if you're an entrepreneur in the social selling space and you're trying to attract people who want to be their own boss, you might want to think about how you're putting that energy out. Are you attracting people to you because you're exemplifying a lifestyle they want? Okay. Now, we're going to move on to your headline now, which we're going to do a lot of coaching on this because it's really important. I'm not going to do a super deep dive on photos. We do have a professional photographer inside of our academy who's a legacy member, and she does an entire module of workshop on lighting for just creating run-of-the-mill photos for your feed at home without a professional photographer, which her training is amazing. So those of you guys who jump into the academy, you can jump straight to that if you want in the module. She does a great job. She actually also did the training on optimizing, creating that little video, that little 30-second video that you can put in your profile. That's in there as well. Okay. So let's move on. We're going to move on to our headline. The headline, guys, the headlines will make or break you. So let me just tell you something here. Do you think the attention spans of the user on LinkedIn are any longer than the attention spans of the user of Instagram or Facebook? I'm going to ask you guys. Do you think the attention span of users on Instagram and Facebook are different than the attention spans of the users on LinkedIn? Okay. I want you to think about that. And then I'm going to answer it for you. The answer is no. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. People scroll, patrol, they're in and out. You have 3 seconds to catch someone's attention and make them want to learn more. If you guys learn nothing else in this training, stop multitasking right now, because I have clients who they nail this and they nail their business. Okay. Listen and take note. Your headline follows you everywhere on the platform. I am sharing with you guys golden juice that works. Your headline, I'm going to say this again. Your headline follows you everywhere on the platform. It is absolutely unique and different than the other platforms because you have massive real estate beside your name that you can be marketing your value, marketing your service, marketing your opportunity. And most people completely miss the boat on this. And it's where I have cleaned house for the past 3 years through creating curiosity through an intriguing headline. This is going to follow you everywhere you go. Now, what's important is when we teach you inside of the academy how to strategically be engaging with the right influencers within your industry, within your arena of people that you want to generate leads from, your comment can generate leads for you. If you came in here and you started chatting in a forum where there's hundreds of comments, now all of a sudden you're marketing what you do. Let me give you guys a really good example how this works. So we had a client who was brand spanking new to her social selling business, brand spanking new to LinkedIn, but she came to Gary Vee's platform and she simply made a comment in something that he posted. Now, knowing he's an entrepreneur, knowing there's a lot of millennials who follow him, who are trying to start their own businesses. Imagine one of our clients came in, she got a headline right and tight about the e-commerce space and selling wine virtually from home. I can't remember exactly what her tagline was, but I want you to remember that Gary Vee also owns a wine company. She got into the chat box here and single-handedly, her headline, because she had an audience of 200 to 300 people chatting away, her headline was an advertisement to what she had to offer. Are you guys following me? You get about 8 words that are advertising what you have to offer. I hope this is making sense. The bottom line is that if you can be super strategic in maximizing what we call that real estate, those 8 words that create curiosity and make people wonder what you're about, that's the first win. If you create curiosity and you're in the chat box of something like that, your curiosity of your headline is going to bring them to what? Your profile, right? But you need to win with your headline first. It's your lead magnet on LinkedIn. It is your lead magnet. Why is my headline corporate dropout? Because I want to attract people who are like, how did she drop out of corporate? I want to get out of corporate, right? Why is my headline 6-figure side hustles? Because I coach people on how to make 6 figures on the side through my LinkedIn Academy, through my network marketing business. I also have LinkedIn Expert. Why is that? Because if people want to learn more about LinkedIn, I want them to click on my profile. The number one mistake that people make, and I want you guys to hear it loud and clear, and I'm going to give you an example, is that instead of putting out there the value that they add to the people they're trying to attract, they showboat. We talked a little bit about showboat yesterday. They spend that real estate with their own accolades of what makes them amazing instead of the whiff up. What's in it for me, right? Don't forget about the whiff up. If you use your headline to say, for instance, with network marketers, if you're using your professional background, maybe you're a podcaster, maybe you're an author, maybe you're a keynote speaker, awesome. Put it in your summary later. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Put it down in the summary. People don't want to hear what you have to say until they know or are interested in what you can do for them, or that you've created enough curiosity that they want to learn more. Having a headline that says attorney or podcaster or keynote speaker, does that create curiosity? Does it create curiosity? No, it doesn't. The example I'll give you is a client of mine who was attracting clients with her service. I'm going to tell you, her service was teaching pharmacists how to pivot from their 9 to 5 and find different ways to leverage their pharmacy degree to not work in retail. But our problem was, back to the number one mistake users of LinkedIn who were recruiting with the platform do, is she was treating it like a resume. She was forgetting that she was no longer the employee. She was forgetting that she was trying to recruit. And her headline had keynote speaker, podcaster, author, PharmD. And I'm like, that is awesome. That is awesome. But the problem is you're not catching anyone's attention. Like if she was in there in the chat and her headline said all those great things about herself, but nothing about what she could do for them, she's not generating any leads for herself. So I simply said, let's switch this up. Let's take your accolades and let's put them down in the summary section. And instead in your headline, let's talk about you being a career pivot coach for pharmacists. So we brainstorm. And guys, this is what we do in our audits inside the academy. Our students will come back 2, 3, 4 times for audits till they nail their headline. And I've seen it happen. They'll spend 2 months on it and not be getting leads. And then they change their headline and bam, the enrollments start flooding in because they've nailed it. And this is exactly what happened for her. We landed on career pivot coach for pharmacists. And all of a sudden, she started getting leads for her ideal avatar who were looking to change their career. Why? Because she was clear about her value proposition. And in many ways, you can just be cheeky and create curiosity. It doesn't even have to be necessarily your value proposition, but you need people to want to go to your profile to figure out what the hell it is you do because they're so curious. Is this resonating with you guys? Is this making sense? So for instance, in your headline, I would suggest not putting your degree. You can put it at the end of your name. You don't want to waste that real estate. My profile, you can see, I just put a doctor in front of my name, right? Or you could put a PharmD on the end. If you've got an MBA, if you're an LPN, if you're an RN, you name it, put it up here, okay? Up here. Do not waste your real estate down here. This, my friends, is what you want to show up. You want it to show up and be your punchline to create curiosity. But if you put your accolades there instead, are you attracting your avatar? Are you a social seller out there looking to beat the summer slump, looking for some accountability to grow your business and find the business builders of your dreams that want to run with you? Guys, if that's you, look no further than our 5-day inside scoop, where we are going to be taking you soup to nuts through growing your brand and creating attraction marketing on the LinkedIn platform. I'm going to teach you some of the critical tools I use to grow my social selling business and my coaching business. The coolest part about it, it's completely free. You just have to jump over to my Burnout to All Out Facebook community and get registered today. Or you can go to my website, www.livethefreelife.co. We'll put this in the show notes. But guys, take a listen to some of my former students and how they're doing and their experience inside the LinkedIn training. There's no question that this academy has changed everything about my business. And just a little fun fact is in the first 4 months of this business, we just ended April, and I paid more in the first 4 months than I did my entire year last year in my social selling business. And there's no question the only thing I changed was the LinkedIn Academy.
Day 2, when I was in the academy, I had really gotten my storefront to a place where I felt comfortable, had an audit. I felt like, okay. And I reached out to her through LinkedIn. I used a part of the scripts that you give us, tailored to my own. And she wrote back immediately. We had a discovery call the next day and she signed up that night. So
it is so much fun. And they always say, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And you've made this fun again, Melissa. I adore you.
Okay. All right. So let me look at my notes here and make sure I'm not missing anything before we move to the summary. The summary is the last part. I just said the same thing with the summary, okay? Fatal mistake in the summary as that you showboat and or you're continuing to act like an employee. How many of you in your summary, be honest with me, how many in your summary have in chronological order your career? The last time you were in LinkedIn, you were looking for a job and you cut and pasted your resume. Now I want you to think about that as a recruiter. And now what you're recruiting for, whatever business you're trying to monetize, I want you to flip that on its head and ask yourself, now that I'm recruiting for my business and I'm trying to attract clients or attract business partners, how can I change this? Guys, it does not need to be in chronological order. My first career outside of college was being a lab tech at Duke University Medical Center. Okay. No one needs to know that in the first couple of sentences of my profile. That's not dragging clients my way, right? If I was applying for a job, the employer might want to see it chronological order, but we're not applying for jobs. We are recruiting. So I want you to think about your summary. And how can you start with a hook, line, and sinker to grab them and pull them in? What is it that you have to offer that could change their life? Your accolades, your success, your story, your certifications, that can come next. But I want you guys to remember that people have the attention span of a gnat. And unless you pull them in with what you can do for them and how you can change their life, they're never going to get to your accolades. They don't care. If you start with your career history, you've lost them. You've lost them. Okay. I hope this is making sense to you guys. Again, this is something that we do tremendous feedback on inside of our academy. Many times our students will get their first audit on their banners, on their headlines. They get that really tight. And then they'll come back for a second audit and get feedback on the verbiage inside their profile. And then maybe come back in for that final audit that is just like ready to go. So your value proposition needs to be in the first 3 sentences. In the first 3 sentences, how can you serve them? How can you change their situation? How are you meeting a need instantly that they can recognize that they want to learn more? All right. I hope you guys have gotten lots and lots of nuggets here.
Thanks for listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. For free resources, materials, or information on my coaching services, go ahead over to livethefreelife.co. That's livethefreelife.co. Or check out our Facebook community at Burnout to All Out, and make sure you follow Burnout to All Out on Spotify and subscribe to iTunes. And it would truly mean the world to me if you paused for just a second, gave me that 5-star review of the show, and be sure to share this episode with any burnouts you think would be inspired to go all out after hearing this episode.